Hello guys, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Hope RBI. In this lecture, I'm going to share my preparation strategy for the RBI Grade-B examination 2022. As we all know that the level of examination has been increased tremendously and you cannot take this examination for granted now. You have to prepare according to the exam now, and the exam is difficult and demanding to increase your knowledge rather than to come up with some kind of mnemonics or some kind of other strategical methods to somehow crack the examination. It is all about increasing your knowledge and skills now. So my preparation strategy is based on that. You have to increase your knowledge, you have to increase your skills. Okay, so in order to do so, you have to change your preparation strategy from what you could have been using in order to crack the examination for 2018 and 19. It's totally different scenario now. The level of examination is difficult, everything is difficult. So you should be increasing your skills. You should be focusing more on the subjects rather than putting your different energy on phase 1 and phase 2. So that is why I changed my strategy. I will be contrasting my previous strategy to the next one that I will be using for 2022. For the previous one, I used to prepare differently for phase 1 and for phase 2. Okay, and trust me, it was taking a lot of energy from me because I was putting different kind of energy for phase 1 and different kind for phase 2. The GA section were totally different from phase 1 as well as phase 2, and you had to put in a lot of different efforts for phase 1 and different for phase 2. But now that is not the case because the level of examination has been risen so much that I will be choosing not to go through this but to prepare for this examination on the basis of subjects. Remember the time when you were in school and you were in class 10th or 12th and you were preparing on the basis of subjects? That kind of strategy I'll be using now. So I'll be putting my main focus on the subjects now. So for the subjects, as you all know, there are various subjects: quantitative aptitude, then there is the reasoning ability, then there is English language, then there is general awareness, then there is your economic and social issues, then your finance, then your management. These are the main examinations that these are the main subjects that you need to focus on. And for these kind of subjects, I'll be putting more of efforts rather than classifying them on the basis of phase 1 and phase 2. So for quantitative reasoning and some part of English, I'll be mostly rely on mocks because I have been preparing for this examination for a year and a half and I am familiar with the basics. I don't need to go through any kind of book again and to open the book and to understand the concepts again because the basic concepts will remain same. The only thing that you need to do is practice the harder level of the questions that you would be able to find only in the mock tests. I recommend olive board mock test and practice mock tests because these are really very good. These are really of very good level, and after the examination of 2021, I know that they would be able to increase the level of examinations furthermore. So I will be recommending those, and you also have to focus on the mains mock tests of IBPS PO, SBI PO, IBPS mains. IBPS mains, clerk mains, and SBI clerk mains. So you have to focus on the mock test of these examinations mains as well because the level of questions will be difficult in these examinations also, and you need to understand the type of questions and you need to practice more in order to be able to qualify this examination next year. And you also remember that in 2021 the cutoff was little lower, but it will be lower because the level of examination was high, but the next year the case will be different because the students will be preparing according to the examination now and the cutoff will increase. So in order to get into the competition with those kind of students, you have to level up your game as well. So you need to practice the questions that are of good level. So I recommend that. And for the students who are coming to this field very new and who want to prepare from the basics, I recommend you all that you get to any kind of CAT preparation book. Okay, you get to any kind of CAT preparation book for quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and English in order to be able to achieve the level that is being asked in the examination now. Okay, this is not the case now that you should be able to go to some kind of basic book for banking examination and you just prepare and practice some kind of questions and you will be able to crack this examination. No, you have to level up your game. That is why I'm recommending some kind of books that are very helpful for the CAT preparation because it is more or less on the similar track. I told you that some part of English will be covered in mock, but the second part, that is the most important part, will be in the phase 2, that is the descriptive English. Okay, so since I am classifying this on the basis of subject, you cannot deny the fact that descriptive English is the most important for phase 2. It carries 1/3 and you need to practice it as well. So in order to achieve good success in descriptive English, I'll be following the newspapers, and I recommend you to follow the newspapers as well daily. Okay, from the day you start preparing, and I recommend you very soon you should be started preparing for this examination. So I recommend you the newspapers. The newspapers that I actually use are the Business Standard and Live Mint. Okay, the Mint. So these newspapers are really very easy to understand. If you are not actually familiar with any kind of economic concepts, these newspapers are very easy. These are very descriptive in nature, so you could understand each and every concept. And the editorial sections that you need to focus more upon, the editorial sections are very easy, and the opinions according to the authors are very much thought provoking, because in order to increase your thought process for a particular topic that could be asked in descriptive English as an essay, so you have to be understanding about everything that the author is putting out there, and you have to form your own opinions based on that. So that is very essential for you. And now, since you are increasing your knowledge, your emphasis on newspapers should be even more than before. Okay, so for descriptive English, I'll be recommending that. And since if you are new to the field and you don't actually are familiar much with the English concepts, you have to understand the English concepts also through some of the CAT preparation books. Okay, so these are very important in order to not only increase your vocabulary, but also to frame sentences, to actually kind of frame good essays for your examination, good kind of comprehension ability, so that you could be able to understand the passage that is given to you, and you could answer easily. So that is needed only, that is actually achieved only if you read. Okay, reading habit, you have to increase your reading abilities. You have to read everything in English. You have to read good books. You have to read good newspapers. You have to read everything in order to be able to understand stuff, understand the passages, comprehend the passages, and answer the questions that are being asked after that. So that is very important. Now comes the most important part, that is GA. Since I have segregated on the my strategy on the basis of subjects now, so GA covers all the phase 1 GA and the phase 2 GA. It is very important for you guys to remember the facts, plus also also to understand the topics that are associated with general awareness, whether it is national news, whether it is international news, whether it is defense news, whether it is science and technology news, whether it is your political news, or whether it is your economic news, or whether it is your financial news. Everything is to be everything is needed to be covered in depth, and everything is to be remembered as well. Okay, you have to remember these, you have to understand these, and it is only achieved through revision. Only method. I know there is no shortcut in this. Even if the examination were at par with the level of 2018 one and 19 one, the revision was most important, because if you don't revise, you don't remember, and if you don't remember, you are not able to solve the questions in the examination. So you have to revise everything, and the sources that I am using are, of course, the newspapers, and I recommend you all as well Affairs Cloud Daily and GK Today Daily. I don't have the access to the paid courses of these particular websites, but I actually go through these websites daily in order to acquire the daily news. It is very easier, and you can make notes. I hated making notes, but after the strategy, after the pattern for the examination changed and it became subjective, I had to write. So now it is needed for you to write, because as you write, you not only are recording the information in your book, but also in your mind. So that is the most important thing, that you make notes out of these two websites. I will be making notes out of these two websites, and I will be also making some kind of MCQs, and I'll be sharing those videos as well with you guys. So it is very important for you that you read daily, and when I will be asking some kind of questions and videos, you will be able to answer them because you will be going to these websites daily and you will be making notes as well. Okay, so that is demanded here, and every news is important, guys, related to government schemes also. Every news is important, so you have to put your main emphasis on these kind of news, and you have to be very 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 much attentive to what kind of different scenarios could be asked in the examination, why it is happening, what is happening, how much is it happening. Okay, so that is needed to be remembered as well as to understand. Okay, coming up to the ESI section, I'm talking about the ESI static here. I'm not talking about the general awareness one because it is being covered in the GA section. Okay, ESI static, if you're new to the field, you can cover NCRT, very reliable source. NCRT, mostly NCRT 12th second book, macroeconomics. Okay, you can also go for Ramesh Singh to understand deeply the concepts, and if you were preparing for this examination already, you mainly have to emphasize more on current affairs rather than on the static part, because for the static part you only need to understand your concepts for the subjective kind of questions, because subjective questions could be asked in very very static manner, and you would be able to answer only if your static abilities are there, if your static portion is prepared well. So in order to do so, I recommend you NCRT because it is very good source and it is very basic source. So if you are not even associated with the field, you will be able to understand the concepts very very easily through these. For finance and management, you should cover these kind of things through a book known as Financial Management by Prasanna Chandra. So at first you were recommended to cover this very very selectively. This time I also recommend you to cover these selectively, but for the descriptive kind of questions, you not only are needed to frame questions well that you would be able to answer only by extensive reading, but also you need to understand some of the financial general awareness portion as well, that you will be covering in GA section altogether. Okay, you don't have to segregate it on the basis of ESI, on the basis of finance, on the basis of management. You only have to cover GA as a whole. Okay, so that the thing that you have covered in GA would be incorporated in ESI as well as finance while framing the answers or while attempting the MCQs that are being asked. So it is very very important for you guys. For management, I recommend IGNU notes. These are very very easy to understand, and all the concepts that are required in the examination are covered in these particular notes. So you all are recommended to cover management through IGNU notes. And the last but not the least, ESI also covers your reports and indices and your government schemes. Very very important. The reports and indices are covered in GA as well. If you will be covering comprehensively these two websites, you will be able to make notes regarding the indices and reports, and that will be really helpful for your GA preparation as well as your ESI. Okay, so for reports and indices, I recommend you to go through these websites and make notes out of it. The second is the government scheme. These are very important. So while you are reading news, whether in newspaper, whether in these websites, you'll be coming across various government schemes. So you have to not only understand the facts about those schemes, but you also need to go back in time and see the previous schemes as well. So even if a little bit of a previous scheme is mentioned in the news, that becomes very important for you guys. So to understand government schemes and to read more about it, you have to go to various ministries websites. Okay, in ministries you have to search for the various government schemes that the individual ministry has put out, and you have to understand each and every concept of that ministry, because it is not only about mugging up facts, it's also about to understand why the scheme has been introduced, what was the previous scheme which was introduced, and because of that the new scheme has been implemented now. Everything, every aspect of government scheme is very very important. You will be witnessing not only the subjective kind of questions but also the objective ones. So in order to prepare for these, I recommend you to go through the ministries and put a comprehensive thought to each and every scheme that you will be preparing for. And also there are some good compilations, like Vision IS has some good compilation of government schemes. Rao IS has good compilation of government schemes. Even you can find out some other websites that have the good compilations for government schemes. But in order to understand comprehensively about the government scheme, and I am not assuming it, I know that in 2022 examination they will be thorough with the government scheme. So you have to go to the websites and you have to search for the schemes and you have to write down and make notes out of it. This is very, very important for your preparation. Okay, so will be my strategy, this will be my approach to actually prepare for this examination. I will be actually, it is a lot of hard work, it is a lot of work to go into every ministry and writing about various government schemes and to understand them. But you should be considering the fact that there is a lot of time for you now. Okay, if you start preparing from tomorrow, you will be able to clear each and everything much more comprehensively than you would be able to in, let's say, 2 to 3 months. Okay, that is not of no use now, because you have to increase your knowledge, and in order to do so you have to start preparing now. Okay, now is the time. Okay, you cannot waste time, you have wasted so much time, you cannot waste time. You have to focus your energy towards this examination. If you really want to be a part of this organization, you have to have some knowledge to be a part of this organization, to be an RBI Grade B officer. That is my own strategy. If you feel like there is something else that is needed to be incorporated in this strategy, please let me know. Please comment down below, and I will be reading each and every comment, and I will be responding to you guys, because this is not only the preparation that is being done by me, it is each and every person who was not able to be successful for this examination, who was really heartbroken because he had put his 100% in this examination. Okay, so you have to gather yourself and you have to come up with this kind of strategy in order to build up your knowledge. That is my own opinion, that is my own strategy. If you come up with different kind of strategy, you can use that. You are comfortable with different kind of strategy, you can use that. There is no pressure, but I shared my strategy because for some students it might give some kind of insight that this is kind of an approach that I should be needing to prepare for this exam. So that is why I put out this video for you guys. I hope you like it. You can share it with your friends as much as you can, so that they could be able to comprehend the fact that it is not about clearing the examination now, it is about increasing your knowledge, increasing your abilities. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any doubts regarding anything, any sources that I'll be using, if you have anything in your mind that is not being cleared up, you can contact me. You can actually comment down in the comment section, and I will be responding each and every comment. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.